Vimeo, Facebook, YouTube, Instagrams. I want to thank the Reinventing the Tattoo Network and Guy Aitchison for helping us facilitate getting all these shows out. This is the Tattoo Now show that happens often at noonish on Wednesdays live. And then you could always catch the replays in the podcast stores and on the YouTube channel and whatnot. We just got out of our business roundtable meeting, or we're not quite out of it. We're going to let everybody else in on the last part of it, where we've been chatting with Mickey Schlick from the Montana Tattoo Company. And let me fire up the website here. So the Montana Tattoo Company is a pretty awesome and very reputable shop out in Montana. And Mickey's also a very accomplished tattooer himself. And well, Mickey, why don't you, at the sake of being a tad, I don't want to be seen as lazy, but why don't you let us know, give yourself a great introduction. How about that, if you can?
My name's Mickey Schlick. I own Montana Tattoo Company in Missoula, Montana. I've been tattooing for about 20 years, depending on how you do the math. And, I started in probably about the worst situation you can. And because of that, I've always felt the need to continually be learning more about art and creating images. Some of that feeds into my tattooing, some of it doesn't. I lean a lot into realism. And I'm trying to do some new things right now, which is like really in excess for tattooing. But I think that it's going to feed back into my ability to create images. So it's worth it.
Yeah. So when you say that, you kind of laughed and like alluded to it, but like, let us know, dive into that a little bit. You're getting into like ZBrush and using different digital tools to bring.
Yeah. So I've always really been into mixed media. I like using different tools in all of my art whenever possible, I think even with painting, I kind of like to start with acrylic or maybe even marker underneath and then go up and work towards oil at the end, or airbrushing, stuff like that. To Chandler's point earlier about people, when things slow down, getting shaken out of the industry, I've always kind of felt like, tattooing found me in a dark hole and has been there for me and allowed me to build up everything. And the more I try to do other stuff, whether that's painting cars or currently right now it's the ZBrush stuff, the animating, tattooing slows way down for me. So it definitely like hurts the pocketbook to like take the time to do this stuff and learn this stuff. But in the end of the day, I think it's going to allow me to create images that would be a little bit harder for me to come up with just on my own by working in 3D. And so I'm really hoping to bring a bunch of stuff that I've learned from outside the tattoo community into the tattoo community. Whether that be, stuff about drawing and thumbnailing and sketching, or tips and tricks on using layers, which I think is a big deal that a lot of people don't really understand. Or all on up to the 3D stuff, whether it's on an iPad or a PC. Like I really like just diving in and solving puzzles and learning new things. And it hasn't worked out for me to like have a shop of people that are super into the same stuff. So I think that for me, it would be better to like, talk to everybody everybody as a whole. And, anybody that's interested, we can hang out and talk art stuff.
Awesome. And now I'm presuming that you're still accepting clients. I mean, obviously you're all pretty.
Oh yeah, I'm always accepting clients. It's my hardest problem is like turning people down. I accept too many clients. I accept too many, like, I can do it and nobody else will do it. Or maybe like nobody in the town could like put a certain image together in a certain amount of time. And especially because I use a lot of digital tools, like I'm usually able to turn some kind of design around pretty fast, even if it's like a custom drawing that I have to like use different tools to just like put the image together so I have my own reference.
And you do
so
that.
Yeah, I would say I say yes to too much.
I was gonna say you come in for walk-in days too, right?
Oh well, nobody else there will do walk-ins. I mean, kind of we've gone for more of a walk-in shop, which is like how I was basically raised in the industry and have always done. Like, I know that like that's how we make our relationships with people to come back to allow us to do bigger stuff. So I've kind of always like leaned on that and pushed that. And then in the last year or so, we took on James, who's heavy hitter, real heavy hitter. And that's been it really kicked me in the ass, wanted me to like tune everything up. So I have been not taking as many younger artists to like do that kind of work. So, if there's a bunch of walk-ins on the table and I can come into the software and find everybody that's requested some kind of time and can't find it in the last week, it's hard for me to not show up on my third day off of the week and make some money. So yeah, I do all kinds of, and I would go crazy if I did the same thing all the time. Sure. So I like to change it up.
And those walk-ins, it is like new, fresh blood. I mean, blood, literally. But like, even if I remember when we had our shop and we had, everybody was pretty booked out and very busy. We would set aside, a rotation so that on Saturdays there would always be an artist that was available, to do walk-ins. And or not all, again, it was a long history of the shop, but during the best phases of it, there was always deliberately somebody there to take in new clients. So that's pretty awesome. And now people are often going to the website and then picking artists, and then you have guest artists that come through. Care to tell us a little bit about that process and how it works with your residents? And then we'll ask about the guests because it's pretty cool too.
Well, so we kind of have everything set up in a funnel so that your call gets answered every time. So you call the shop, we use the software, and you get a text back that says, hey, this is Mickey. If you want, immediate help, say, hey, Monica, and our AI will help you. And then from there, we try to really direct people to go check out the artist and pick the artist whose style they vibe with. I'm probably like the biggest, I'm probably the worst one about it, where I'm just like, yeah, if you just sign up and you need it done and somebody gave you a good recommendation, come on down. But I really am like, now I'm on the point of, hey, I just want to do, I have a wide range of things I want to do there. It's just, I don't want to do everything, but I also don't want to force anybody to do that stuff. So, when nobody wants to do walk-ins, I'm not going to force them to do it. But I also feel that a big portion of that is people not understanding the tools they have at their disposal enough to understand, like, you could just turn this around in 20 minutes, dude. Like this, it's not the end of the world. You're making doctor money. You can sit down and like whip this out. We have all the tools to make it very easy. And if you don't want to take the time to learn the tools, well, I can't force that either.
It's kind of on you. One of the things you said earlier that is so true, and I kind of want to talk about just a little bit more, is you mentioned like those walk-in tattoos and the small tattoos. Well, usually, and if you're doing your job right, always, dare I say, become better tattoo clients, right? So even if somebody's getting faith upside down on their wrist, if you're like showing them the best time that they could have, right? Given the limitations of what they want, if it's not them coming back, it's their partner or one of their friends.
There's definitely something to that. It's definitely helps like get the word out there. Sometimes I do feel like people ask for this certain stuff because I'm the one saying yes for it. And if I just didn't do that, then it wouldn't be a problem. If I was just really like, hey, this is all we're doing. But the way that I've kind of balance that out for myself is I only market the stuff that I want to market. I'm not posting everything that I do every day, because if it doesn't make everything else look better, then not really worth it.
Sure. Awesome. So about how often do you post up, or what does your promotion routine look like
I'm horrible with it. I'm horrible about promotion. I only promote things when I would do something new and it's like pretty finished and I'm really stoked about it. Lately, doing this digital stuff has allowed me to promote a lot more, but I'm thinking about I want to do kind of like more videos and more like YouTube side stuff. So I want
Mhm.
to, I'm gonna have to repost all that stuff again anyway. So I'm trying to like learn all these tools and build up a little bit of content so that I can have some stuff posting.
Yeah,
But the beauty of,
I'm a search engine kind of a guy, right? And Tattoo Now is, basically based on search engines. Um, YouTube is the second most used search engine. And for tattoos, you almost couldn't come up with like a better medium than video, right? And then lastly, YouTube's trying to get in on the short form, tall cell phone addiction, right? So you could take all of those Instagram reels or all of the TikTok videos, not with watermarks, get the fucking do it before you get the watermark on the videos if you can. But the point is, you could take those videos and put them up into your YouTube channel, right? And I say this tons, but we're recording, so I'll say it again. Like if there's two different beasts that you could be feeding, and one, is designed to trap you in and keep your attention, to keep you, as addicted to the social media as it can. That's it might deliver you some business or whatever it is that you're looking for, because that's part of keeping you addicted to that platform, right? But that's the job of TikTok or Instagram or social media. And then the search engines, I mean, they're literally designed to deliver the best high quality content that they can, right? So like if somebody's searching for rose tattoo or caricature tattoo or freaky blackwork tattoo on YouTube's job is designed to deliver them the best freaky tattoo that they can, or normal tattoo. Let's not get freaky. And again, there's just a difference of motivations for these platforms. So I that was a long way of saying I think that's a great idea. I would absolutely be fostering your YouTube and Google business listing. Okay, I'm off.
Yeah, I'm big on the Google business listing.
Sweet. So now we want to talk up some of your artists at the shop a little bit. So you talked about James, and he's obviously a well-known, black and gray guy that came up from, I don't know if he's from Vegas, but what other let's talk about some of the other artists. And
so we have Leah there. Leah does a lot of ornamental stuff, flowers and whatnot, and she's been with me the longest at this point. Yeah, I don't know actually how recently I've updated her work, but she does pretty well in there.
Let's see here. Oh, this goes right to her consultation form.
Right to her. Yeah, so that's what I was saying, is like on the forms, no issue. So far, at least nothing that I've heard. But I'm also putting labels on everything where, hey, if there's an issue, contact us this way.
Perfect.
So yeah, this is our tattoo area in the background there, where it's kind of just like more of an open area. I would really like to do kind of how you had it, where there's just a fully stocked guest station or two all the time. And really all you have to do is show up with, your iPad and a machine, and everything else is like loaded, ready to go. Rent the spot for the day. I don't really care what percentage of that I'm making,
Sure. Yeah, no, it's it's fun. Obviously tattooers really appreciate when they roll in and, not only do they get like greeted and have a good time, but yeah, having that stocked the guest booth is great. And so then you have Leah and then the guests.
And then we have another guy, Noah, that I'm like, I don't have him on here right now. And he's like my best friend. He's helped me build the shop from the ground up. He had a legal mishap and has like chosen to parole to a town a few hours away, but he's opening his own shop now, and I'm trying to get him, like they were like Remember was talking earlier about franchise, and I don't really want a franchise, but I do have a name that like would work statewide. We have a pretty good reputation statewide, so it's like, why don't we work this out? I'll build I'll do with the website and get you on the discussion, and we'll market to people up there, and anybody that comes to us we'll send to you there. Sure. And that's pretty easy. But yeah, everybody, I feel like, kind of learns a little bit and gets their sea legs under them, and then is like, I want to go conquer the world on my own, which more power to you. I just want to be able to, like, talk about art stuff because I get these ideas in my head, and then sometimes they sound stupid when they come out, and I have to have a place to say that.
Yeah, well, it
So
seems
I
like you
can
have
hear it.
a good team of people to bounce ideas around with and whatnot. Now, you're also accepting guest artists, and you have an application on the website.
We do.
But you also, and you have
Well,
a
we
really,
have a link to it. We have a link to it on the website because I think that the surveys
I think you were
aren't
saying,
were giving me some problems. But if anybody ever has any problems with that, you can contact me directly, Mickey Schlick, basically anywhere you could think, and I'll work out the rest. So yeah, we go through this process where this is the basics, right? We're just asking, who are you, so we can take a look at your stuff, and where can we take a look at your stuff. And then we go through another process, which is like, we want to talk, we want to do a video conversation, I want to run it by my other artists and talk to them, and then we have another form that basically asks all the stuff that we would need to ask so that I can build your page on the website with an interview style kind of questionnaire, right? Who are you? What do you like to work on? What don't you like to work on? What are you, what do you charge? All the basics. And then it also asks the questions to allow me to build a consultation form just like that for each artist. So, if somebody consults for you up here, or wants to see, or wants your work up here, then they would fill out the consultation form. That comes to us, that we would already have email forwarding set up. So it either comes to both of us, or it comes to us and gets forwarded to you. And then hopefully we would have a price worked out where it's like, hey, I need to make sure I'm compensated at least this much for travel. And then, try to make you double, or whatever it is that you say you need, however many clients you need. Some people are coming up and doing a couple thousand a day, and so I don't know what you need for travel, or maybe you're already in the area and you have some friends and you just want like a place to work so you don't have to travel with all your ink and shit. There's a ton of options that it would work for us. And for me, I just like to meet new people, and I want to work with new people and talk about ideas. We have a whole art studio there for people that are coming through and want to like paint. It's a good area for a lot of hiking, floating down the river, hanging out. If you want to go see Glacier, Montana, which is gorgeous, or a ton of just like nature walks around here. It's a pretty mellow little town, but it is a college town, so there's like a downtown scene. And it's pretty relaxed. What I would like when I was coming up, or what I've always hated my whole career, is I don't want to do a guest spot and then not do anything the whole time. So I would rather solve that problem by like, hey, let's see what kind of work we can get you out here. And then,
set up some field trips.
For me, I want to be able to post a higher quality of work so people kind of see what's out there and what's possible.
Yeah, and just speaking of that quality work, like what type of artist are you seeking, or works best for the guest spots, right? So, if you waved a magic wand, I mean, obviously there's a variety, but like what type of artist is going to, excel the most as a guest there, do you think?
People interested in learning or trying new things, I think would really excel, because we can come out here and maybe not trying new things specifically with tattooing, but like if there's any like art or technology stuff, like I wholeheartedly believe in sitting down and taking the time to just learn the tools that you have at your disposal. And I'm always willing to do that with people. And if we all have computers and we're all online and we all have tablets, then we're all pretty much using the same tools. So except maybe ZBrush stuff, but and using those and bringing those ideas together, because there's a ton of classes and seminars and things that I don't know about, or haven't taken, or haven't learned. And each of us, like we all look at different artwork and produce different outcomes. We would all take different knowledge and then share that knowledge in different ways. So the more I can open up, I feel like the more I can open up what I've learned and then hopefully get that back from other people, like trading knowledge. The more it'll feed into everything in the future.
Sure. And you've taken a lot of classes. You like make it a point to join the different memberships and to take different classes, you know, both inside the tattoo world and outside. Do you care to talk about, you know, some of the ones that, you know, are working for you, or some of the lessons learned?
So, you know, I think it's easy to get into a bubble in tattooing where nobody's really gonna, once you hit a certain like level of like, I can do lines and I can shade or I can do a face, it's gonna be really hard to get critiques and feedback. So for me, it's been really beneficial. I sign up for these classes. Sometimes they're really expensive classes. Sometimes they're not so expensive classes, but like, you're paying this person to tell you what's wrong. You're not paying this person to tell you, hey man, everything's awesome. And like, you should just keep doing exactly what you're doing, because that's not really going to benefit you. What's okay though? Okay, not right now. Okay, that's cute. Super. And so I take a lot of, the one I just did was a ZBrush class, but basically the whole thing is, you know, let's learn the tools. You're just learning tools after tools after tools after tools. I took a caricature class one time, and that really taught me a ton about what you really can do with a face, and it can still be that person, and how, you know, you can just play around with shapes. And there should be a bunch of videos of these. I have a ton of videos. Oh, it's that next one. Yeah, I have a ton of videos of these where like there's just so much thumbnailing going on. And I think it's so important to like do so many little sketches before you figure out what your final is going to be, because, you know, even if you're not tracing it and you're drawing a bird and you draw that same bird 100 times, they're going to probably be 100 little differences. And you can push and pull that stuff, and you can play with that. And I think that what I've noticed in tattooing is a lot of people that, you know, you get your job, you get the requests, and then you sit down and you make the requests. Like, you're able to draw, so you sit down and you draw that thing, instead of like sitting down and exploring, hey, here's 10 different ways that we could do this. And so I really like doing that, even if I'm dealing with something that's like, you know, it's a face, it has to look like this person. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
Yeah, well, that's great. So the artists that are interested in learning and sharing.
Yeah, especially the artists that are interested in sharing.
You know, some geeky, you know, geek certainly can't help, right? So if you're into ZBrush, you know, you don't have to be, obviously, but
well, and it doesn't even have to be ZBrush. I mean, the 3D thing is like, I mean, if I wasn't already assholes and elbows into computers, then I would definitely just say stick to Nomad and like do it on the tablet. But now that I've gotten so deep into it, you know, and I do all this stuff kind of like on my own, I tend to go towards like whatever the most powerful tool I can get is, you know.
yeah,
I think we were talking about that one time, the difference between usability and power in most of these programs. And I go for the power because I can handle the messy layout. I can handle the layout that has all the shit in it.
Yeah. I have to say, I'm wicked impressed. You know, a lot of people are on the Tattoo Now tools and the new ones, like, and some people now have VAs, so they have people that are operating it. You're awesome. Like, you know, not only did you get it and are able to get in there and manipulate things and create things, but you know, some of the people that you're working with are also pretty damn sharp, right? So you are definitely a great computer person. It's
Thank you very much.
you know, so that's a whole nother round of sharing, right? If people are looking, well, I guess you said earlier, like business, but like the business techie stuff.
Yeah, any business techie stuff, I will like either swap a better percentage up here if you want to come here, or a better percentage for me down there if you want me to come guest spot there, and I'll help with whatever. I love this kind of shit.
What do we got here? Is this like some gold leafy action, or
No, it was just a gold marker.
okay, cool.
This was like, I was very far off. This was just, I needed to fill space on that wall.
Yeah, at the High Lifestyle show, Dante from Clerks is going to be there at the High Lifestyle show. I'm not even supposed to be here, guy from Clerks.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, sweet. So another question I have, and I guess, and because you have so many different mediums, like why tattooing? Like, so, or, I guess I'm presuming that tattooing is kind of like your primary medium, or
Tattooing was my very first,
yeah.
I was in jail and like knew how to draw a little bit, and somebody thought they were going to get their tattoo machine taken away before they got a tattoo, and was like, hey, put this cross on my lip. And then since then there was a line, I mean, not ever since then. There's a bunch of years in LA where I didn't have anything at all going on. I've, spent so many days in the shop doing nothing at all that like it's pretty concerning. But on the same token, tattooing has also always been there for me, even in the worst situations, and has allowed me to build, my entire life and family around it. So that's kind of what I was saying earlier, is the more I pull away from it and get into 3D or painting or whatever else, the more the tattooing kind of like starts to slow down. And then I'm like, oh, okay, I gotta come back and really double down. But my goal is always to like kind of venture a little bit outside of the craft to learn some new things that are maybe not like super commonly known, instead of just like trying to put my own spin on everything. And then bring that back in.
Okay, bringing it back. There's so many tattooers I see through the years, and this is just it's a natural path, right? They get great at tattooing, they're comfortable with tattooing, they're making money tattooing, and the original art where they have less constraints, is so attractive. And I've watched a lot of artists be like, I'm going to give up tattooing and I'm going to go paint. And then after 6 months to a year to 2 years, it's like, oh man, like I kind of need to do work for hire, I'm back to tattooing for hire. But the fact that you like are going to learn these things, but then feel that pull to go right back is
I don't think I'll ever give up tattooing. With these new tools, I'm hoping to do a couple of things, including like some animated shorts, and maybe like a couple of books or like comic books. But I really just want to use that to allow me to be more discerning with my tattoo clientele.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like I still would rather, even if I'm taking 2 days to do a sculpt for a tattoo, like, so the last couple of days I've been working on this Wendigo character, Wendigo, and it's probably more time than I would need to spend to do like this one person's tattoo, but now I can make this a bunch of different tattoos off the same, if it could be Bigfoot, or it could be an alien, or it could be, I want to do one that's like, there's a bunch that I want to do, so we won't get into that. But then you can light it, you can retexture it, you can take a photo from a slightly different angle. It's like having your own sculpture garden where you can just deal with all your own models right off, however you want. You can control it down to the base, so even though you're using all these tools to help get to the final product, it's actually giving you more control and more creativity than I would have with just a pencil. And then that said, like when it comes to pencil stuff, like I really love the super messy sketches. I really love the messy sketches and the the messy thumbnails and the things that it's just an idea. So I really have like a wide range in like rendering, the way things are rendered. Sometimes it's a tattoo, or sometimes it's made to be like a photo. And then when I actually am sitting and drawing, I actually really like it to be actually pretty messy.
Yeah, great, awesome. So shifting gears a little bit, before we close out the stream, there's a couple of questions that have come in. We have Yusuf has asked, would you accept guest artists from Egypt? And Tattoos by Chandler, might be on this call, was asking also, is your shop open to international guest artists?
We're definitely open to international. I think more of the requests that we've gotten through the forum have been international, but nobody's like actually taken that leap. There's no like restrictions on nationality or race or gender or anything like that. But we will take a look at your portfolio, and the issue is like, can we promote it with everything else that we're promoting without it like deteriorating that, right? It's taking so long to get to where most of the stuff that's coming out is coming out at a certain level. We want to keep it at that level. So we'll take a look. And then that said, if not, but you happen to be traveling through the area and have a couple days worth of clients, like we'll rent a booth for a day. And, you know, if we like working with you, like sky's the limit, who cares? But it really just comes down to what we would be able to do as far as like promotion.
Sure. And what is it, tattoovisa.com, you know, so as far as international artists are concerned, legally and technically there is no like weekend you know, visa or pass or whatever, right? So if you're going to be making money, you know, then the official route is the O1 visa, tattoovisa.com. They're lawyers that specialize in it. And it's basically a list of evidence, and frankly, often it's evidence that I never really even gave a shit about until 15 years ago, trying to get the first artist in from Russia, because it's things like awards, right? It's things like magazine articles, publicity. It's a lot of the pats on the back that I don't ever care about. But then when I'm looking to help an artist get evidence for their visa, those are the things that count. So if anybody's interested, I'm definitely have helped a couple different international artists build that evidence. And but other than that, you know, if you come here on vacation, don't advertise that you're doing tattoos for money. Don't tattoo, you know, you work that out with somebody after you get here. But, you know, the main goal is just to produce value, right? So anyways, main point is
that's another reason I want to have, like, I want to do what you were doing, have the full setup just sitting there ready to go. That way, you know, at least you don't have to worry about traveling with ink.
Traveling with ink, or yeah, absolutely.
Or beds or anything like that.
A couple other questions or comments. We've got Darren is saying he loves walk-ins, keeps them on his toes, especially if clients fail to show up. You know, it keeps his mind from being focused on what's planned and to think outside of the box, you know, and on the spot. And I just have to, you know, I'll add to that. It's, you know, when we did those, you know, flash days, that was one of the main surprise compliments, right? There would be tattooers who had been appointment only for 5 years, maybe. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll take a walk-in day. And then it was like a different mindset. Right? You know, some people don't like it, but a lot of people are like, oh, wait, I get to, like, you know, think on the fly, do this right now, solve this problem right now. And
yeah, I definitely feel like a lot of people like really, really avoid it. And it's not always a bad thing. You know, I do stuff all the time with people that come in and, like, you know, you just sit down and knock it out. It's, you know, we have all the tools there to make this stuff fast and clean, and, you know, at over $100 an hour, like, what's the whole, like, what are you really expecting out of life, actually?
Yeah, you know, for me, that's, you know, I'm happy, you know, when I think that, I'm thinking, because I hear enough, you know, tattoo or studio owners, you know, thinking that, but it is also, or sometimes you know, I'm like, wait, you know, I'll hear tattooers complain about clients. I'm like, it's a job, right? Like, someone comes in wanting something, like, you're supposed to have this back and forth conversation with them and then deliver to them what they want for money.
Right. And I'm 20 years into that thought process. However, in the last year, especially since James has gotten there, you know, it's also had me thinking, I can make the same or more money in 3 well-calculated days than I could in 5 days trying to take on every random issue, right? So now I'm in a point where, like, I really want my other artists to be able to do that. I want my other artists to be able to chase down the stuff that speaks to them the loudest, and B, come in at any point and say, I had a cancellation today, but I need some money. Who's coming? And we can put the word out and make it happen. Sure. So that's what I'm really trying to do right now. And, you know, that's a big part of me, like, taking the walk-ins and stuff. Like, eventually we'll have somebody in there. I have a girl that wants to apprentice now, which I don't really want to do it, but she's pretty dedicated. So, like, kind of like gets to a point where you don't really have a reason not to. You know, I can take all the money from all these people, or I can take half the money and show somebody else how to do it. I just don't really want to spend the time. You know, if I'm going to put a YouTube together or do whatever else, I need the time and energy to do that. And, like, I don't, you know,
only so many hours a day.
You know, it's always a different puzzle to figure out every day, but I'm wired for that. So that works.
Awesome. So we're coming up on time. I appreciate
Yeah, no problem.
Wednesday at this time. I'm like, oh man, we get so much of people's times. It's amazing. If anybody has any closing comments, definitely now's the time to pipe in. Do you have any topics in particular that you want to address before we sign off?
No, not really. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited about Paradise. I would love to meet everybody. I'd love to host anybody that's like coming to the Northwest or stop and have lunch or something. And, it's a good place to have your line in the water. And I'm also looking to travel. So.
Awesome. Sweet. And then it's a Montana tattoo company. And then Mickey Schlick, if you do a search, Mickey Schlick Tattoo on all of the.
Both of them are same on social media everywhere, all one word. And both of them have their own .com, mickeyschlick.com, montanatattocompany.com. And yeah, and then coming out soon, I think it'll be the Lowbrow Know-How YouTube channel. Awesome. But that's a different conversation for another day.
Lowbrow Know-How. Well, once it's launched and we have some videos, we could tease out some of the we could put out teasers for you.
Sweet. Well, awesome, man. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Sweet. Okay. Well, I'm going to click the button here. So I'm going to thank, thanks to Guy and Reinventing and Tattoo Now and all the members and people who, support all of the projects. And we will catch up again at a future Wednesday. Now I'm clicking
end event. Thank you guys very much.
Adios, everybody. Okay. There we go.